After the longest year of our lives and hardly any new movies to see, Warner Bros. Is answering the call to restore some sanity and grace to our lives.
At the end of 2020, Warner Bros. Announced that their entire 2021 movie slate would premiere as scheduled. Movies would release in theaters around the world that are open, while everyone else Sorry, let me try that again. At the end of the 2020, Sorry, one more time. At the end of 2020, Warner Brothers announced that their entire 2021 movie slate would premiere as scheduled. Movies would release in theaters around the world that are open, while for everyone else, these movies would be available to stream from the comfort of your own home on the same day.
Today, we follow up on our ongoing streaming topic as we break down how this move is more than just a game changer for Hollywood, but for theaters itself. Hello and welcome to 21st Century Cinema. It's the podcast about film and the film industry. I'm your host, Joseph Delavecchia, and joining me today for a follow-up on our conversation back in April of 2020, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my fabulous co-host, Mr. Noah Shepard. Noah, how are you?
How's it going, Joseph? I'm good.
I'm doing well, thanks. Noah, it's so good to hear from you in Newfoundland. I know things are getting crazy out there, 4 new COVID cases in the last week. How are you guys surviving out there? I mean, you're in the belly of the beast.
Well, you know what? We're chugging along. It's been we have it so much better than everyone else, and that's I can't even keep up with the joke because we're doing very well, and it would be ungrateful for me to say anything else.
Well, no, today we're here to discuss streaming once again. This is kind of weird, this topic, because this topic is kind of a follow-up from our last time we talked about streaming, where me and Ava broke down and talked about Netflix, and we talked a lot about Netflix's budget and their money status, which we're actually going to touch base on in a moment. But we're also connecting to an episode we did back in April 2020, April 30th it premiered. We recorded it the night before on April 29th. And it was all about, it was a very quick episode. I messaged you like that day asking you to do this episode. It was all about the Universal putting their movies on streaming and on demand alongside theater releases, and AMC theaters threatening to no longer carry Universal movies.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was definitely a whirlwind, and now we've got this move, which has been criticized by some, including Mr. Christopher Nolan, and it has also been doubted by a lot of people. And so I've crunched the numbers, did the math, did some research, and I think we've got some interesting things to talk about here. But first, Noah, I want to bring up that Netflix episode that me and Ava did. In that episode, me and Ava talked about Netflix's debt and how we expected them to be in even more debt than ever by 2023. And we also said that in 10 years, we wouldn't be surprised if Netflix had to somehow take a bailout or buyout from somewhere. If Netflix would still be the Netflix it is today, we very much doubted. And we were wrong. Netflix reported last week in their financial reports that they are going to be debt-free by the end of 2021 and able to essentially just start anew. So they're making money. They are. It seems the pandemic was really great for Netflix. Tiger King was huge for some reason. I still haven't watched it.
Tiger King, it's interesting, the whole thing, but I think just in general, I don't think it should come as a surprise that I know that they were in massive debt, and that's a surprise that they were able to get out of, but I don't think it should come as a surprise that Netflix put up insane profits during the period of time where everyone was stuck inside.
Yeah, no, Netflix has gained so much money. They're doing great, and they've got a lot of great shows on the way. 2022 is shaping up to be an amazing year for Netflix. They've got Stranger Things 4 on the way, The Witcher Season 2, Umbrella Academy Season 3, there's an Assassin's Creed show in the works, and there are heavy rumors of Bethesda making an Elder Scrolls show. And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Absolutely. If it wasn't for The Witcher, which I know is not just a video game, I know it's based off of books originally, but still, If it wasn't for that series, I would be a lot more scared for those two video game series. I still don't believe that they're going to be able to turn Assassin's Creed into a money-making TV show, mainly because the games are starting to not even become money-making games.
Do you know what series is also like super huge right now, Noah, on Netflix that's killing it for them?
I would imagine Cobra Kai.
It's Cobra Kai.
Because Cobra Kai is incredible.
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh my god. It started
to be fair, I hate the original Karate Kid movies. Does that even surprise you, though?
You will love Cobra Kai then. They don't take themselves too seriously at all. It's great. But they still know, once again, some of those things that doesn't take itself too seriously, but still knows how to create serious story beats. Very well done. Great series. Okay. Shocking that it was originally a YouTube Red series. That is crazy. Nothing good came out of YouTube Red.
So Noah Shepherd gives a strong review for Cobra Kai.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely recommend it.
All right, Noah, let's start in breaking down what the hell is going on with HBO Max, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's jump on this dumpster fire.
So, right before the end of 2020, HBO Max, Warner Brothers made a very shocking announcement. They had just launched HBO Max a few months before that, and with HBO Max now, they were saying that in 2021, they were going to release all of their movies and their movie slate. It was going to come out, and it was going to release alongside with theaters. Yep. So, you can go to a theater if it's safe enough for you to go to one and it's open. You can go to a theater to watch it, or you can stay at home in the comfort of your own home, turn on HBO Max, and watch that movie. Day it comes out for up to 31 days. Now, what's also very exciting about this is that if you are in a region, like we are, Canada, where HBO Max hasn't made it here yet, they are giving it to other streaming services where you can get a group of people together or your family, and you can watch this movie at a premium price. They started it with testing it with Wonder Woman 84, which they did on Christmas Day, which I watched and was terrible, but I still paid the $30 to watch it with my girlfriend and her sister. So, yeah. Surprisingly not Ava. Ava was not one of those sisters that watched it with us.
I was going to say, do you mean Ava?
No, Ava was actually not there. Ava didn't want to watch with us, which, her, honestly, I would say her loss, but her gain. Oh my god. It's terrible. But yeah, so they launched that, and it seems to be doing already surprisingly well. So when you have it, it's free to watch on HBO Max if you're already paying for HBO Max. Yeah. Pretty amazing deal. It's $15 a month in the States. I would pay for HBO Max even if it was $20 a month here in Canada. Amazing deals and amazing content on there.
Well, that's like, I know a lot of the HBO shows are what HBO shows are popping up on Crave. And honestly, I gotta be honest, if you are a fan of streaming, if that's something you're into, and you do not have Crave, you're missing out on probably the best streaming service.
I had Crave, but I didn't use it, and that's why I canceled it.
The amount of great series on Crave, like Game of Thrones, Handmaid's Tale, just the blockbuster series, all of the Emmy-winning series, they're on Crave. Definitely recommend getting Crave if you're a big fan.
Handmaid's Tale might not be staying there because it is a Hulu show and it is on Disney Plus in the States, and Disney Plus is launching a new adult content stream this year for all of those shows internationally. So I don't think Handmaid's Tale is going to be staying.
That one might not, but also you still have Game of Thrones, Lovecraft Country, if that
Watchmen
was your peach. The Flight Attendant I've heard really good things about from my girlfriend and my teacher. So yeah, they definitely got
and Watchmen, the Watchmen TV show.
The Watchmen TV show. For those fans, Dark Side of the Ring, great documentary series. Yeah.
So before we go any further, Noah, let's go through the movies that are coming out.
Let's do it.
Yeah, tongue-tied here. The movies that are coming out in the 2021 slate. So why don't you start us off?
So, on January 29th, which I will not say in relation to this because we do not want to date ourselves, The Little Things.
On February 12th, Judas and the Black Messiah.
On February 26th, Tom and Jerry.
On March 31st, Godzilla vs. Kong.
On April 16th, Mortal Kombat. I took so much in me not to just yell that as the song goes.
On June 4th, The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It.
On the one that I am clearly most excited about. Absolutely. I've said that on the show many times. June 18th, In the Heights is finally being released.
July 16th, Space Jam 2, A New Legacy.
August 6th, The Suicide Squad.
September 24th, The Many Saints of Newark.
On October 1st, Dune.
On November 19th, King Richard.
On December 22nd, The Matrix 4. Please, just stop. Just stop.
On
the third one wasn't good. The second one's barely.
On a to-be-determined date, Zack Snyder's Justice League.
TBD, Those Who Wish Me Dead.
Also TBD, Reminiscence.
Malignant.
And Cry Macho, all TBD. So, before we go any further, though, there is a disclaimer with HBO Max that the titles are subject to change, as are the release dates. But it looks like these are all on track to be released for these dates or in these time frames. All these movies. So, Noah, you've already said you're looking forward to In the Heights. Anything else you're looking forward to on this list?
Dune. It's Dune. They're finally going to do Dune right. It's clearly Dune.
And it's Denis Villeneuve directing it, which is also amazing.
It's Dune.
I'm interested in James Gunn's take on the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, me too. I think he's a director who could save that series. If you can save it. Didn't Suicide Squad, the first one, make a ton of money?
It made a ton of money, but that doesn't mean it was a good movie.
No, but you know what I mean. That's let's be honest, that's not what Hollywood's about anymore, unfortunately. It's not about making good movies, it's about making good money.
I did see the trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong. I thought it was one of the worst trailers ever. It did not motivate me to want to see this movie at all. But who in their right mind greenlit a live-action Tom and Jerry?
Yeah. Listen. Let's go back to Godzilla vs. Kong, because there's nothing that we can say about Tom and Jerry. If you don't want to see those two meaty beasts slapping meat, then just, come on. There's at least part of you. There's at least part of everyone who's got to be like, yeah, I wonder who's going to win that.
They're going to fight for 10 seconds and then be best friends and team up against Mecha Godzilla. It's in the effing trailer. Everyone's already spotted it.
I know, but still. We just want to see.
This movie isn't Godzilla vs. Kong. This is Godzilla and Kong versus Mecha Godzilla.
You mean like Batman versus Superman?
Fuck off with Batman. I don't want to hear talk about that movie. Oh, I'm still mad about that movie.
I'm just excited for Mortal Kombat. But honestly, get the Cobra Kai directors in there. They know how to do a martial arts narrative. Let's do it. Let them.
We're gonna move on. So with these movies all coming out, this is absolutely huge because we've just had, we're still in the middle of the pandemic. The pandemic's probably going to go on until 2022 for us here in Canada, probably longer for the States. So it's a huge, huge thing that we're going to get to see all these big movies when every other big studio, they're pushing them back. Disney is pushing back all of their releases. Black Widow is going to be pushed back over a year and a half at this rate. Like, movies that people do want to see are being pushed and pushed and pushed to the point where you don't care about them anymore. The MCU TV shows have started, and they're going to get ahead of those movies, that they're all in their connected, them in their effing connected universe. But
it sounds like someone who's very much still suffering from Marvel fatigue. I know.
WandaVision is actually a little interesting. I'm intrigued by it.
I've been meaning to check it out because it does seem weird. And you know what? If it's anything other than a gray color palette and a very scarily animated Hulk, then I'm down. I'm down for it.
But we're getting these movies, which is absolutely amazing. And a lot of people, as I said earlier, they doubted this. They thought it was a bad idea, and they thought it was a little bit distasteful. And the main reason for the distastefulness and the bad idea is that people are worried about movie theaters collapsing.
Yes.
So, Noah, I want to know your thoughts on this. Like, what do you think about this happening?
I mean, I think movie theaters will continue to exist. I will throw that out right away. I think many, many, many of them are going to close, and I think they're very much going to become a special occasion type thing. I think you're probably going to see it make its way to sort of how live theater is done. Obviously you have your real theater buffs, myself included, but you know what I mean. The general population does not go and seek out live theater every single month. So I think that with the release of the streaming date, going to a movie is going to become a special occasion, and it's only going to be your hardcore buffs that are shown out for everything.
I think you're right. I think a lot of theaters are going to close, and theaters will become a lot more scarce. I still think we'll get movies in theaters, but I think it'll be like they're doing it now. It's going to be alongside a release with the streaming service.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, which could be good and could be bad. So I've actually got some numbers here, Noah. 2020 reports on theaters. So AMC theaters, they reported over $600 million in loss in 2020.
No surprise, the pandemic. Any business that's based around getting people outside and all together into an area, you're going to lose profit.
Cineplex reported an approximate average of 80% of loss in profits in 2020. To put this in perspective, they made $378 million in 2019 and $418 million in 2018. So they were already losing money as it went, as theaters have mostly been doing.
Yeah.
Now, movies already make very little money on tickets to that movie.
Yes.
They make the theaters. They're not getting that much money. That's all going to box office and to the people. Movie theaters make money on their concessions and attractions they have at a theater. Like I know a theater here in my area, we have a little arcade.
That's where they're making the money. So please, when you go to the theater, listen, I understand sneaking snacks in is a big thing. I get it. The snacks are expensive at the movie theater. And I'm not saying go there and buy everything you need to get through the movie. It is only 3 hours, usually at most, so maybe you can wait. But anyway, I understand. And I'm not saying that I'm not guilty of it. Everybody's snuck in snacks to the movie theater. But just get something there, right? Just get something.
I always, at the very least, get a drink.
Yeah, please just get something there, because that's the only way that the place that is entertaining you for the rest of the night can survive.
Now, if we are, though, to finish up my point here, if we're going to take away a bunch of customers out of these theaters now, which is what the pandemic is doing and what also the streaming is going to do, because if you're someone who, let's say you're in a safe area, like you're in Newfoundland, it's mostly a safe area, and Noah, your theater is going to be showing In the Heights, okay? But you know what? You've also got Crave, and it goes to Crave, and you can watch it. Are you going to stay at home with your girlfriend and watch In the Heights on the couch, all snuggled up? Or are you going to go to the movie theater and watch In the Heights?
Yeah, for this specific example, I will probably go to the theater. But
okay, for Dune, then.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's because this is a movie I'm excited about. I want it to be a full experience. And that goes back to my point before. I think the way that this is going to happen is for the general movie, people are going to stay in and watch it on a streaming service, and it is only going to be a very special experience or a special occasion where butts are getting in seats for the actual movie theater version of a movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you look at this whole entire list that we have here, the only movie, can you tell me the only movie you would see on this list in a theater, if you could watch the rest at home in the comfort of your home, is going to be In the Heights? Everything else you're going to watch at home.
Right now, looking at this list, Dune might get me out, but pretty much just In the Heights.
So if you just have now this small percentage of people going to movies now, and that's out of that small percent, only a smaller percent of them are going to buy concessions.
Yes.
Theaters are not going to make money. It's not going to happen. Lots of theaters are in danger. Absolutely. I remember when I worked at the theater, my one of my managers always told me when I was in high school working in the movie theater that he said by 2030 he didn't expect that place to be there anymore.
Gotcha.
And I believe him. It looks like it's going in that direction. And the pandemic was just speeding it up.
Absolutely. The pandemic only helped one type of theater, and that was drive-in.
It did. Yeah, the drive-ins, I know for sure the drive-in in our area does really well every summer.
Absolutely.
But I imagine
with the pandemic even more so.
Yeah, it definitely did, because that was the only place you could go and see movies, and they showed a lot of classics, and people loved to go and see classics.
Absolutely, go see a classic in the drive-in. That sounds incredible.
So yeah, I really think
something like that.
I think that if we're still doing this in 2022, lots more people and streaming services are going to be releasing movies like this.
Yes.
And I think that not for every movie, but for some movie releases, a streaming service release on the same day with theater is very possible for the future.
I think that that's just going to be how movies are released, period. I think that's going to be the industry standard, and I think it's going to become a special thing if, hey, this movie's being released in only theaters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's also a way of saying this movie's not going to make any money.
Theaters might honestly just become a thing for, like, those art house and those Oscar films that you have to, like, find places to see.
Yeah, they're going to become an obscure thing, and I think that's just the way it's going to be. It's pretty much the way it is now, except for your big blockbusters, like you know what I mean? Except for your huge blockbuster movies, you're not getting people to come out anymore. Because for the most part, I know how many times have I had the conversation with myself where I'm like, you know what, I might go see that. And then it's like, you know what, I'll just wait 3 months and catch it wherever it pops up.
I remember you told me you were going to go see Frozen 2 when it was in theaters. You didn't go.
Yes.
Have you seen Frozen 2 yet?
I have seen Frozen 2, yes.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering if you've seen it yet or not.
Oh, great. I liked it better than the first one, personally.
I loved the second one. I like the first one a tad better, but I did really enjoy the second one. Okay, Noah. But we've talked about theaters and how they're losing money. But
yes.
Another comment about this whole thing was that people thought HBO Max would not make money off of this. Warner Brothers, they weren't going to make enough money back. Their numbers were too low with people subscribed. This was just another way to lose money, but they were going to try and appease the public. Everyone thought they were going to take a hit on this. So, today I crunched the numbers. I did a lot of research into budgets and marketing budgets and how much Warner Brothers spends and everything, and I had to add up a bunch of numbers, do some math. So, I crunched the numbers. It is estimated. Okay, and this is just an estimate at the least, I need to tell you. So it's probably more, but we're doing least here. It is estimated this entire slate of movies is somewhere between $1.4 to $1.5 billion at a minimum to produce. Not including marketing, which Warner Brothers has spent $350 to $500 million on in previous years. So to make money on all these films on HBO Max, they most likely have to make a profit of at least $2 to $3 billion in 2021. At least. Probably a little more.
And HBO Max announced a few days ago that they have hit 37.7 million subscribers, with each subscription being $15 a month. That means the company is expected to make $565.5 million each month, which is just under $6.8 billion over 12 months.
This doesn't include any box office from theaters the movies will make, because they will also be on international streaming services and playing at movie theaters around the world where it is safe. So those are still going to bring in more money to these. So HBO Max itself is just bringing in $6.8 billion, and probably more with more subscribers going to join for more movies.
Well, yeah, because if HBO Max keeps these subscribers, and once again, as bigger and better bigger and more blockbuster movies get released on HBO Max, people are going to sign up for it, and they're going to make a huge profit and still be able to make high quality TV and movies, because that's what they do.
Now, HBO Max didn't expect to reach this goal of subscribers until the end of 2022. If most of these subscriptions stay, this will allow HBO Max to make more high-quality content and release it faster.
And HBO Max does have other shows and content right now as well that we have to account for. You know what I mean? It's still going. It's still a thing right now before all of this. So
One show that comes to mind, because I have a friend that's absolutely obsessed with it, is Selena Gomez has a cooking show on HBO Max. So, they have other shows and other content on there they do need to account for.
Absolutely. And, with international box office and streaming services bringing in money for these movies, plus more people expected to subscribe when movies are coming out, Warner Brothers, this isn't going to affect them at all. If anything, it's just a way to make more money.
Exactly. Now, they will most likely make a profit at the end of this year. Now, will it be as big as a profit as they've made in regular box office years? Probably not. But they're still going to make a profit, which during these times and for this risky of a move is amazing.
Absolutely.
And you know what? $7 billion is not chump change. Now,
No.
Warner Brothers came under a lot of scrutiny for this idea. A lot of people, as I said, they thought that they would lose money, but since they are the only ones doing this, people are jumping at this content and this idea. It's pure genius, and it seems to be paying off. You know, if Disney Plus isn't doing this, NBC and Universal aren't doing this over at Peacock. Paramount is launching their new streaming service next week, but they're not doing this either for their content. So we have to now just go back here and take a look and see, do we think theaters are going to survive for how much longer? We've already agreed theaters are going to become scarce. But how much longer are we going to have theaters the way they are now, do you think?
Honestly, I don't think they ever recover from the pandemic. I think we have already seen the last of theaters as we know. Theaters now, what are they doing? They're playing classic movies and the occasional release, but like the movies that now are released in theaters, they're sticking around for 3 months. You know what I mean? These movies are staying for long times. Plus, they reshow some classics to get some people out. But with the way the pandemic is, and the pandemic is just getting worse at least across Canada. It's not until there's the full vaccine rollout, life isn't going to get back to where it was. So, and with a business like theaters that was already on the downturn before the pandemic, they're not coming back. Definitely not in any way that we recognize it.
I do agree with you. I think that maybe when theaters, I think over the next year we're going to see theater closures. It's going to happen. Theaters are going to start closing down. The ones that do survive, though, I think maybe they'll get a year, maybe 2 out of it before they'll be like, we have to close our doors too. And then I think definitely by 2025, we're going to be in that age of movie theaters are scarce. Absolutely. I think it's coming. And we could be wrong. We were 100% wrong on our Netflix predictions. So once again, we're just predicting here.
Would love to be wrong on this.
Yeah, so would I. Like, we did the math. The math adds up here for the HBO Max and stuff like that. That's all real. I worked hard on that. But everything else, we're predicting here based upon what we see with trends, based upon what we see already, and just personal experiences, like me working at 2 theaters in high school. Like, this is what I see. And, yeah, so it doesn't look that great. It's kind of a little grim, but I would love to see theaters survive. Before the pandemic, I went to the movie theater every single week at least once, sometimes more. I was seeing movies. I love seeing movies. And I love Oscar season, where I am torn between which movie I want to see that week, because it's all so good.
Absolutely.
Now, Noah, I want to talk to you about this recent article that was on Variety. This article came out in November. And in this article, at the end, it ended with a simple line with being said that whether or not theaters survive the pandemic and continue to operate is our choice.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that statement? And then I'll tell you what I think.
I do. I think it's it's one of those things. Like, the corporations are going to do what the corporations are going to do anyway. That's the way corporations work. They're there to make money. They're not going to care about the group of movie buffs, like you yourself said, Joe, like the people who go there and see a movie once a week, every week. They're not going to care about that because those people don't represent the majority of people who are giving them money. So it's up to the general person to make the conscious effort to go out to a movie theater and support it for them to be able to survive. But even then, I don't know if they can.
I agree and disagree with this statement. I disagree because I don't think it's fair to put that much pressure on people in the middle of the pandemic, especially if, like, a lot of theaters are probably going to close before the pandemic is over. And you can't expect people to go to a theater and be put at risk just to save a movie theater. As much as I want to save theaters, you can't ask someone of that, and you shouldn't do that. You should put your health first.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I do believe when the pandemic is over, it is entirely in our hands, and we need to do what's right.
That's what I meant. I will say that, as I said at the beginning of this, us in Newfoundland, we're in a very, very privileged position right now with the pandemic. So that's just speaking from personal things. I do not encourage anyone who feels uncomfortable or anywhere where it is unsafe to go out to these things to do it, because your health and your safety absolutely matters first when it comes to this pandemic. And stay safe out there. Movies can wait, and once this pandemic's over, yeah, maybe it will be our choice whether or not theaters survive, but the most important thing is that we survive first.
While I am, of course, upset that we could be losing theaters in the distant but near future, it is nice to know, though, that we will still have movies, and I don't think movies should ever go anywhere. They are a form of art, they're a form of expression, and we need them, and we need that escape in our lives.
Absolutely.
Especially when you're people who host a movie podcast. You need that.
Yeah, especially those type of people. Who would ever do that? Who would ever get? Those aren't real people, Joe.
Noah, your final thoughts on the numbers, just how this is going to impact cinemas, everything. Just give me a good old wrap-up here. How you feeling about all this after our talk?
Pessimistic, if I'm being honest. Yeah, like yourself, Joe, I love the movie theater. In recent years, I haven't gone as much as I would like to. And kind of kicking myself that with these trends, I don't know if I will ever get to. Because this is a scary situation for anyone involved in the theater business. Not, the movie theater business. And well, actually, we could do a whole different episode on the stage theater business right now. But anyway, yeah, it's a scary time, and for movie fans, for theater buffs, and just for the general person who just wants a night out to go see whatever big blockbuster people are talking about, that's not going to be the thing anymore. And it's going to be different. It's just going to be different, but I can't say I am feeling optimistic about the way these numbers are looking.
I have to say, Noah, before I give you my final thoughts, it does break my heart that we only ever saw a movie together once.
I know.
And it was freaking 19 whatever.
1917?
1917? Ugh. I wanted to call it every number but 17. I wanted to call it 16 or 18. But, God, I hated that movie, and I'm so sad. It's the only movie we've ever seen together in a theater.
I know.
Mm-hmm. However, I feel like you were entertained when I started screaming at the movie.
Well, yeah, because
I did scream, but I did, in a loud whisper, go, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Well, yeah, because we're also at a matinee, so you're getting very angry at this movie at a matinee.
Surrounded by seniors.
Who just
we're all here for
watch a fun war movie.
Yeah, we're all here for the war movie that they love, and I'm just like, this is bullshit. Anyways, my final thoughts are, I was shocked to see how much money they're going to make off of this. I thought they would make money. I didn't realize that it was actually going to be this much.
Yeah.
And I hope that they do turn a profit. I hope this works out well, because I want to see this continue in the future, especially if we're going to still be in a pandemic and movies are going to be hard to come by. I want to see movies, because it seems that still the movie that's made the most money and probably might get the most Academy Awards is Bad Boys for Life at the Oscars this year, and that is scary.
That is crazy. That is absolutely... Sorry, that hit me some kind of way.
Sonic is up for Best Animated Feature.
There's gotta be more, right? There's gotta be more.
We don't know. The Oscars got pushed back to April. We don't know.
But
we gotta wait to talk about that.
My God. What? No, name one movie. Please name me a movie.
One Night in Miami is on Prime right now, and I do plan on watching it the next week.
Well,
I'll get back to you on how good that is. But that should be amazing.
Yeah, and also I remembered, wasn't everyone's cup of tea, but delightfully grim. If you really enjoy miserable movies, you'll like it. The Devil All the Time.
I didn't watch it.
Tom Holland, who I normally don't enjoy watching, but he's really good.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. It looked really good.
Yeah, it is. It is really good. Personally, I find it was. It was split audiences, but I think people went in like, ooh, it's the guy from Spider-Man, not... This is a miserable, miserable movie, and your mood will be worse leaving it.
He's also got a new movie, Cherry, coming out, which looks really good. Tom Holland. Very serious role. You should look up the trailer for that. But,
I will.
Yes. But yeah, so I was shocked how much money they're going to make. I want to see more of this, but at the same time, I also do want to save theaters. I wish there would be a perfect world where they could coexist. But at the same time, I think theaters are going about it wrong. And I said this when we talked about AMC and Universal.
Yes.
As much as, yes, you should be mad at the studio for doing this move on you, the problem is people want to be in their own homes and they want to be comfortable. People would rather not leave the house. And I get it, I work now. I'm an adult. I'm adulting. I get what it's like to just be so exhausted from work and not want to do anything else and not want to go out or, like, get in the car. Getting in the car is, like, the last thing you ever want to do for, like, the rest of your week, possibly your life. Like, I get that feeling. So, I understand it. Maybe there's a way around that. I can't think of one off the top of my head. I would love if there was. I would love if there was a way where we could have these where movies come to streaming services faster, but we still have theater releases. But sadly, that doesn't look like it's in the cards. And so I just hope that we still have some form of theaters in the end, because as much as I would love to say, in my ideal world, we keep theaters and things stay the way they were before the pandemic. But if I look at this realistically, I just hope there's still some form of theater left.
Absolutely. Where else would Batman's parents get murdered outside of?
After seeing Zorro.
If there's no theater, then we have to totally change his backstory. Theater's dying is going to ruin Batman, Joe.
Before we go, Noah, and wrap up the show, I want to talk to you about something exciting and more on the positive side. It's our first ever giveaway.
Woo! So to celebrate season 3 of TFCC, we are giving away free merch next month.
You can head to our Instagram for the full details, but we are asking fans to submit something creative to us. It can be fan art, a short script based off of TFCC, an animation, a random shitpost if you want. Looking at you, Adam Van Nest, and your shitposting YouTube channel. Do it. But yeah, whatever you want.
I will throw in fan fiction. Absolutely counts as well.
Yes, write a fan fiction about us. Anything that you could think that is creative, funny, or do you just want to express about TFCC? Do it. Send us some creative things.
So make sure you're following us on Instagram at 21st Century Cinema, all spelled out. And then tag us in your post, submission, or PM a link. You have until March 5th, 2021 to submit your creation.
Right? We can't wait to see what you guys are going to create. We're going to pick our favorite one, or possibly multiple favorite ones, if they're all amazing, which I'm sure they will be. So yes, we're going to pick a winner, and winners will receive one large merch item of their choice from our merch store, or multiple smaller merch items for the same value. More details and a few rules on entering is in a video on our Instagram starring me, Noah, and Ava. So head over to our Instagram right now to get all the details. And yeah, we just can't wait to see what you guys send us.
Good luck to all, and we'll see you at the movies.
When we have the vaccine, of course.
And if they still exist.
Yeah. But thank you, though, still, for listening to 21st Century Cinema. Noah, where can our fans find you?
So, you can find me on Twitter at ShepardNoah14. I tweet about all kinds of stuff. You'll see a lot of my journalism stuff popping up there now. You can listen to me most Fridays and Sundays on VOCM. VOCM.com is where you can see that on the web, just doing my Newfoundland news thing. Or you can also
Noah's on the radio.
If you are on the island, you can tune into 590 VOCM. And if I'm not on there, please still give a listen. We got lots of great people there working, and it's a really great station, and if you're into Irish Newfoundland music, Saturday afternoons is for you. So you can also...
Irish Newfoundland music?
Yes, so the Irish Newfoundland show hosted by Greg Smith is on the... Can
you give us a few bars
Saturdays.
Of Irish Newfoundland music?
It's been going all over TikTok. Have you not seen the sea shanty craze?
Oh, wait, are you calling a sea shanty Irish Newfoundland? Yeah, it's a sea shanty.
Yeah, but that's what a lot of Newfoundland music is.
So that doesn't make it Newfoundland music.
No, but it's the Irish Newfoundland show, so it's like music written in Newfoundland or written in Ireland.
You should have advertised that with, if you like sea shanties, the Irish Newfoundland music show is
also that. If you like sea shanties, come on, absolutely come over. Anyway, there's lots of great stuff at VOCM. Open Line is specifically a highlight. And weekdays up until around noon. Open Line, definitely check it out. It's Colin.
Okay, if you're gonna promote them this month, they need to sponsor us. Okay. If you're gonna say this much about the radio station, I need a sponsor, at least a shout out from them. Okay, I need some even trade here.
I've also got a couple projects in the works. I'm doing a television writing university course, so I recently just wrote my first ever television pitch. So I'm going to be workshopping that for the rest of this term, and then we'll see what comes of that later. I'll keep you guys updated on that as it goes on. I have my first play in the books.
Which I am trying to convince you to do a table read of on 21st Century Cinema.
Absolutely, and which I will absolutely do as soon as I get a bit of feedback from a couple people I need who've been helping me with the process. So
I'm one of them. I really need to read it.
Yeah. Well, finally, you guys can also follow me on Instagram at Shepwrecked, and it's like shipwrecked, but Shepwrecked because that's my last name. So you guys can check it out. It's a private account, but I usually let anyone follow.
Noah's accounts, his Twitter, his Instagram, and his personal email address are all hyperlinked below in the description. So please click on them.
Don't send me
I say
emails.
it every episode, but I love it because Noah gets so upset. Only if you're on the Patreon have you actually heard Noah's email. It's cut out of every other episode that it's been mentioned in, and I never put it actually in the description, but it makes Noah so upset. But if you are trying, though, to slip into Noah's DMs through the electronic mail system, I'm sorry if I've been letting you down. I really am.
God. You might email out of this.
Make sure you're following 21st Century Cinema on Instagram at 21st Century Cinema. We're on Twitter at TFCC Podcast. We're on Facebook, 21st Century Cinema. Or you can also search up TFCC Podcast. Search up either one, and you'll find us. I've set it up like that because I'm just that amazing. Make sure that if you can, we would love to see your support on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. You get a bunch of bonus features, a bunch of unheard content from this episode, including my mother showing up halfway through. And you
Pretty
also...
much every episode.
Yeah, and you also get episodes early. That's right, if you're on Patreon, you're listening to us on Monday, February 1st right now, the day our merch contest is launched. If you are listening to us on anything else, you are listening to us on Friday, February 5th or later. What are you doing, guys? Get on the Patreon. And if you can't afford it, yeah, it's only $1 a month. But if you wanted to do something smaller, like just like $10 or $5, we have a merch store with a bunch of different merch options at different price points. So go in there, see what merch you want, what works for you. Order some merch. It's all linked below in the description of this podcast. Go check it out.
My personal favorite is the Shut Up Joe t-shirt.
It is the best-selling piece of merch. Everyone loves it. And I don't know how to take that anymore, as I've said. But if you don't want me to shut up and you want to see more of me, I am on Instagram at the one and only JDV, and also at the one and only JDV on Twitter. They're both spelt a little weirdly, so check out the description below for that. Give me a follow. We'd love to hear from you. And yeah, that's everything from us, guys. Thank you so much again for all of your support. Thank you so much for listening. And I guess I'll also throw a bone to Ava. Follow her at Ava Crivello. And we'll see Ava back with us next month. We're going to talk about movies that did come out in the last year. And were they good? Were they bad? What did we see? What did we not see? And what are we pretending that we saw? Check us out for that.
Oh, boy.
Check us out for that.
The catalog of this podcast, there's a lot in that last one.
Check out that episode when it comes out, and then join me and Noah back here in April with Noah Schaefer coming back for our planned Snyder Cut episode if it does come out at the end of March like it's supposed to. We are making Noah Shepherd watch the Snyder Cut even though he doesn't want to, just for this.
Yeah.
Don't worry, the podcast is gonna buy it for the streaming, so you'll just get the login and then you'll have to watch it.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay for it, okay? Podcast is paying for it, buddy.
I will have to pay for it, just not with money.
Honestly, I feel like I might be in the same boat as you, but we'll see. But yeah, we'll see you guys in April. And then in May, we might finally talk about the Oscars if they happen. We'll see.
The asterisks.
Mm-hmm. And then hopefully by May or June, we will be back to bi-weekly episodes. But thank you so much for sticking with us through this pandemic and also through our monthly schedule. We appreciate it so much. We appreciate you, and we love hearing from you. And we love doing the show for you guys. So thank you guys again so much. And yeah, stay tuned for the next one. We can't wait to see you guys enter in that merch contest. Make sure to enter it. Thanks for listening to 21st Century Cinema. Be sure to follow 21st Century Cinema on all of our social medias, which are linked below and hyperlinked in the description. You can follow us and our hosts, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode.